Hello everyone, this is Vikram and welcome to my channel. In this video, we'll talk about advanced printing in Python. These are the various topics we'll cover. In the previous videos, when we talked about variables, we had seen this print function, but it was a very basic print function, where we used it to print basic variables. But in this video, we'll talk about formatting those print statements using format method, using fstrings, template strings. We'll also see some special print statements that we usually have colored outputs using ANSI color codes. Before going into print statements, let's understand a bit about escape sequences in Python. To be precise, like escape sequences are present in every programming language, and these are special character combinations which usually starts with backslash, and they are used to represent various characters that are impossible to type directly. For example, like I want to print a new line. So if I just do print hello world, if I have to print hello world in two separate lines, so usually what I do is I'll write print hello and then print world in two different lines like this. So this way it will print hello and world in separate lines, but using /n, basically /n indicates a new line escape sequence. N is a character, so slash is used to escape that particular n, so /n becomes new line. So if I simply write print and then hello /n world, so this will just print hello followed by new line. In the new line world will be printed, and then /t indicates horizontal tab. It will add one tab space. For example, name colon /t Vikram. So name colon will be printed as it is. /t will add one extra tab and then the name. Double slash is used to escape slash. For example, if I simply use slash, it will take. For example, if I have to print C:/users. Okay, so whenever slash is there, so /users, so /u, it will consider it as an escape sequence, but slash is part of the path, right? So I need to escape one slash. So I can use double slash, which means ignore the next character, which means that slash will still be there. So the output will become the actual path. And then single quote, single quote is used because print function has to enclose the entire string using double or single quotes like this. So if I have to print it's Python, right? I have to have starting. Just a second, the pointer issue. Let me change the color. Or let me take a black one probably. Yeah, so if I just start this one and this one, so it will take that the it is basically a string. Okay, so it will throw an error, so I have to escape this extra apostrophe. So in this case I'll just use slash and then single quote like this, so it will become it's. So if I have to escape double quotes, so I have the same the same format. /r is a carries written. Basically it is as good as you press enter and then come to the the beginning of the line. So it's not enter, basically you're returning your pointer or the cursor to the starting line at the beginning of the line. So hello /r and world, so what this does is, so it will first print hello, but again it will bring the pointer or the cursor to the beginning of the line, and then it will try to print world. That's the reason hello is being replaced with world here. Okay, and again backspace using /b. For example, hello with double o followed by /b, it will press it is as good as pressing backspace once, right? So one o is removed, and then if you want any audible alerts, you can use /a, so it will basically trigger a small beep. And then coming to the print function, so we already seen printing variables and all by just passing the variable name. So for example, x is 1, so I can simply say print of x, so it will basically print 1. Okay. The other types of print statements are, I can use a string like this, which will be printed as it is, and then comma followed by the actual variable, comma again the string variable. So the variables are all replaced, in the final output, as you see in the output like this. Okay, and then you have a separator where you want to separate each and every word inside the print function. For example, after printing 2024, I wanted to print slash 01 slash and then 15. So what I can use separator. Separator can be a simple hyphen or simple slash. So whatever it is printing, it will try to add the separator in between. So that's the reason user local bin with a separator slash, it has become user slash local slash bin. Yeah, so I'm not able to see the pointer, that's why I'm not able to point the actual data correctly. And end of the line control, for example, after printing whatever we have, whether it is a variable or whether it is a string, so I want to add some end statement. Okay, so for example, adding end dot 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 here, what it does is first it will print loading followed by dot dot dot, and then it will print the next one, that is done, like this. Okay, so this is the separator, and okay, all part of the print function. So if you see the arguments of a print function, it can take the variables, and then it can have the separator, it can have the end line control, and all these things. Okay, so these are basic prints that we have already seen in the variables, but there are other ways, like you can have formatted strings, you can have dot format method, which we'll see now. Format specifier. So this is really important, because sometimes we would like to print statements, print our variables in the output differently. For example, I want to print float with certain floating point characters after the decimal, or like this. Okay, for example, I have three variables here: a name, age, and height. You can see name as a string, age as 25, and height as 5.9, which is a floating point value. Okay, so if I have to print this, I can basically print with this variable. I don't have to mention what format it is, or what format specifier to use, but here I can use a format specifier. So percentage s. Okay, so here it is basically print and then string colon. So I'm just giving the name. So usually how I write the print statement for printing the name is, I would basically give the name of the variable, or else in most cases I can just say name and then colon and then comma and then basically name. So the output will be name colon Vikram. Okay, so but using format specifier I can format them. So it is basically it's not a string or an integer that we are trying to say here, so it can be anything. So I can say here name colon, so what I should print in what format. So percentage s. So percentage s is the string formatter. Okay, format specifier. And then percentage name. So what it will do is it will take the name, that is Vikram, and then it will format into percentages. So that's the reason. So its output is string colon, which is static string. So it will be printed like this, and then the name Vikram is printed. Again, integer is indicated with percentage t. Floating point is with percentage f. Okay, so here you will see a small difference here. So if I just say for percentage f and then height, so it is floating point number 5.9. So here it is 5.9, but it is adding additional zeros as well. Okay, so this is the base. I mean, it will try to fill that entire the remaining things with places with 0. Okay, but let's say I want to control it. So I want to have height of 5.9 printed as probably 5.90. Okay, not 5.9 or not 5.0000. Okay, so you can control the width here. Okay, so here percentage f will basically print the entire float, plus percentage dot 2. So I'm saying after the decimal I want to have 2 digits. Okay, so that's the reason 5.9 after the decimal there is only 1, that is 9. So it will try to add one more value, that is 0. So after decimal it is 2 digits, 90. Similarly percentage dot 1f, it will just print as 5.9. Okay, so you want to control the width, you can control it with dot followed by the digit. Okay. And I can also use this particular syntax, like all the variables I can print at the same time. Okay. So using single one, it is percentage that variable name. But if I have to print multiple variables using this syntax, I can just use you know percentage, and then inside the bracket I can just give all these particular variable names here. Of course, we already have all these in the GitHub repository, so you don't have to copy anything from the video or anywhere. Okay. And yeah, so these are the examples. Of course, I have multiple examples in the the readme files and Python scripts in the repository. Okay. And then we also can convert decimal point values into hexadecimal, octal, and then binary values. For example, num25, it is basically an integer. If I have to convert into a decimal, it is percentage d. So if I have to convert into hexadecimal, it is a percentage small x. In the uppercase, it is percentage capital X, and then octal, it is percentage O. Okay. So 25 in hexa, it is ff, and in octal, it is 377. Okay. So you can also convert them using this format specifiers. Okay. Another important thing is the padding and alignment. Okay. So how you print these particular values on the terminal uh, or in the logs, right? Okay. For example, if I have to print 42, okay, so let's say x is 42, but I want to print it as 00042. So I want all the numbers, okay, to always have the 5 digits. Okay. So what you can do is you can add extra zeros, okay, in case if the numbers don't have that particular width. Okay. So for example, if x is 1 2 3 4 5, it's already 5 digits, I don't have to add extra 0. But if it is only 1 2 3, so I can just convert it into 00123. So these are called zero padding. Okay. So if I have to print a integer or a decimal, it is percentage d. Okay. But if I have to control the number of digits that I want my Python code to print, I can use the digit as well. So 05d means, so the total width is 5, so the overall output that to be printed, right? So it will have 5 digits. Okay. For example, 42, it will be printed as 00042. Similarly 8d, so it will have 8 digits. Okay. Sometimes I want to control the alignment. Okay. So either I want to print towards the left or towards the center or towards the right hand side, right? So this is alignment. Okay. So using percentage s, I can control the alignment here. Okay. So here if I just say percentage 10s, okay, so this is positive. So what it will do is it will basically print to the right. Okay. So for example, I want to print the name Vikram. So what it will do is it will print to the right. So it will have Vikram printed to the very right of the terminal. So it will have 10 characters. So it will leave the rest, but it will print the Vikram to the very it will be right aligned. Like for example, if I'm printing this word right, so you can see how this is printed. So basically plus percentage 10s, so there are 5 empty characters and these are 5 already. So it is to the right aligned, it is right aligned, and this is left aligned. Okay. So I'll also show the center aligned, it's in the example. Okay. So you can do this for strings, and you can also do this for for the decimals as well. All right. Yeah. So for floating point, we already seen how to print this. So you can just go through the examples. And then format method. So you also have this format method to properly print the values. Okay. So here it will have the placeholders. Okay. So for example, I want to print hello world. Okay. Or hello some name. So what I can do is in the print function, so I can have hello comma whatever word I want to print. So this will be a placeholder, empty brackets, and then dot format what I want to pass to this empty placeholder. Okay, so here it will print hello, and then here what is the name. So name is set as some name, so it will print like this. Okay, here you can see the empty brackets here. E is empty brackets year old. So first one I can replace with name, second one with age. So name and age will be replaced, and overall the print statement will be given like this. Okay, there are also some positional arguments. For example, I want to print age first, and the name second. So what you can do is, another way is, you can just interchange these two, age common name, or else you can also put positional arguments like this. Okay, so here, so I'm saying you replace first one here. Sorry, I mean 0 is the first one basically, and then the second one, first one, third one, like this. So what are these 0, 1 and 2? 0, 1 and 2 are the the variables, or this the things that you pass to this format function, right? So here Vikram will be 0, Python will be 1, and AI will be 2. So overall the result will be like Vikram likes Python, Vikram also likes AI. So is what this print statement is gonna print. Okay, and then yeah, you can also have the positional. So those are positional. You can also have named arguments. For example, instead of just having the empty brackets like this, you can just say which one to replace. Okay, so whether name should be replaced here, or whether the city should be replaced here. So the named arguments are also there. And then you also have left alignment, right alignment as well. So the syntax is you have to use colon and then less than. Okay, so how many characters? Okay, so here you can see so the name, so inside this you can have anything, like I can just give the name, my name as a string. So it will be left aligned, so it will start from very left, and then it will have this 20 character width. Okay, because I mentioned 20, and then greater than 20 will have 20 character width, but it will be right aligned. So center align will be having this particular special character, and then whatever content that you write, right, it will be centered like this. Okay, so you can also have if you want to fill the empty space, like here if you see these are all empty, right, you can also print fill that empty space with whatever characters, whether it is star, dash, or dots, whatever it is, you can easily fill that. So I have other examples as well, so do refer the Python examples in the repository. Okay, and then there are formatted strings, where, so this is basically the famous one, and then this is the most recommended one. So by having the formatted strings, or also known as F strings. Okay, so it will basically start with F followed by whatever print statement that you want to write. So here so the this is different from the earlier one is, so let's look at this one. So it is printing basically hello Vikram. So earlier, using dot format method, you usually write like this. So hello, then you have this one here, and then something like this, and then dot format, probably comma is not there, dot format, and then here the name. Okay, but here using formatted strings, you don't have to write that entire dot format. You can basically write F and then hello within the brackets, whatever variable that you want to replace. So this will work as it is, like it's basically simple one. Okay, and then F strings, you can also go through the attached examples. It's very easy to understand. I already have everything mentioned in the readme file. Okay, or else you can just pause the video and understand how it is different from dot format and other print statements that we have seen in the past. Okay, so the last one is string template. Okay, so basically, let's say you have a very big summary or big passage. Okay, so where you want to basically modify it. Okay, by having some placeholders, like for example, let's say I want to send the same email to my subscribers. Okay, but I want to send it with the name of the subscriber, like hello the name, right? Since I cannot write that particular text for everyone, Okay, what I can do is I can have a placeholder, so my Python can just go and replace that particular name placeholder. Okay, so that's the advantage of having a template. So here I want to send the same um, message or print this message multiple times but with different names. Okay, so for example here, hello name, you are this old. Okay, so I want to so this is a template. Basically you need to import it from the string package. Okay, so template strings are templated form, so they'll have placeholders. Okay, so here dollar name is a placeholder and here is a placeholder. Okay, now I want to substitute name and age, right? So what I can do is I can take this particular one dot substitute name with Vikram and age with 25. So this whole thing, so if you just print the result, okay, so it will like, hello Vikram, you are 25 years old. Okay, so do this for all your subscribers, who will be having different names in a loop. So you'll have those print statements, right? Or you have those strings. Okay, so this is the advantage of having a template form. Okay, so now let's see the repository. So I already cloned it in my local machine. So basically there is this readme file which talks about advanced printing, whatever we discussed in the presentation. Okay, so the normal print function, and then dot percentage based formatting using dot format method, and then finally the f strings, and then you also have something known as template strings, and then there are special techniques which I'll discuss. I don't have it in the presentation, but I'll discuss in the examples. And then there are certain examples and exercises that you can just do it once you're done with this particular video on the examples. Okay, so I already cloned this, so let me open each and every file. So whatever we discussed in the presentations, all are there, so you can just go through each and every one. Okay, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to just run this using Python followed by the 01. So it says, okay, yeah, let me open this file and then go through some of them. Okay, so the first one is, you already know, so it's a basic print statement. Second one is using a separator, so 20 24 01 15 should be separated with a simple hyphen and then slash. Okay, everything we already discussed everything. And now the end parameter, what your print statement should print once it prints the variable or whatever it is. Okay, yeah, so you can also see here I'm just counting down from 5 to 1 and then go using a simple for loop here. So here for loop is starting from 5 and it will go up to 0, not 0, with decrement of 1. So it's a negative step size. So 5 to 1, so it is basically printing that particular 5 for whatever is the value of I, and then ending with a simple space, right? So it is 5 4 3 2 1, and in the next line we have go, so it is printing, so something like this. Okay, and then one of the advantage of this print statement is you can also print something to a file. Okay, so what you can do is there is an extra option that you can pass to this print function. So print, you can use any string or a variable. So for example, I'm having a dummy string. This goes to the log file. This is a string. Okay, so if I remove this file, okay, and if I try to run this, it will basically print to the console here. Okay, but here I'm saying file to the log file. And what is the log file? It is under temp print demolog.txt, but I don't want to access temp as of now, so I'll simply put dot slash. Okay, so if I just put dot slash, so within the same directory it is going to print create that print demolog.txt file. Let me run this file again, so you can see print demolog.txt file. So the content of the print statement is basically returned to the log file here. Okay, and then yeah, so we also have flush parameter here. So flush is true. So basically what is the use of flush is So it will print the or process the print function immediately. So ideally what print statement does is, so it will only print once it has sufficient information to print. Okay, probably like it will have some data in the print, and then or maybe its memory, and then it will print at once, right? But here flush is true means, so whatever data is available to print function, it will not wait, it will print immediately. Okay, so this is ideally used in case if you don't want some buffered outputs to be printed and you want instant prints. Okay, so you can use flush as true. And other things, if you are not able to understand lists, you can simply ignore. And then percentage formatting, we already discussed this percentage formatting and how to control with and all. So controlling with and all will be interesting, so let me just run this particular file. Okay, so hexa, octal, and decimal conversion we already know. Okay, so you can simply refer this particular example and understand. So padding is where we'll find a lot of advantages. For example, if I have to print 42, so using a normal print it will print 42, but using percentage d, and then here if you see I have 05, so which means it will have 5 characters here, 8 characters here in the next line, and then left aligned, you can see. So these these straight lines, or you can just say this one here I can also simply remove it. The reason why I have this one is just to show you that it is right aligned and left aligned, otherwise you will not be able to correctly identify it. So if I simply run this particular file again, so it is left aligned and right aligned, but it is very hard to see whether it is left or right. So that's why I had those characters, so it will act like barriers, right? So you can easily see. Okay, and then I have space, like padding for the integers as well. Okay, so this is where it is of the padding is really useful. For example, I want to print the prices of certain items in a shop, like coffee, sandwich, cake, smoothie, and salad, like this. Okay, you can see here the items are left aligned and then prices are right aligned, right? So the way we do is using that alignment. Okay, so you can just see, like on the left hand side it is 15 character width, on the right hand side it is 8 character width. So item and prices are aligned like that. And also the the prices, if you see, they're all two decimals or two numbers after the decimal point, right? Two digits. Okay, the reason why it is only 2 digits is, even though the digits can be more, is so I've restricted it to 7.2f. So overall it will be 7 width, but after the decimal it will be only 2 digits. Okay, yeah, so this is one. So you can just check the other one. So dot format is also same. So we talked about positional arguments and the named arguments and all those things. Okay, so let me just execute it. Okay, so you can see the left aligned, right aligned, and all these things which we already discussed. And then finally formatting a table. So you can see how I formatted it again with using dot format. So you can use with the normal print function as well, which we see in the previous file, but you can also do it using the dot format method as well. So you can basically have the left aligned, centered, and the right aligned values printed. Okay, f strings are also same thing. Okay, using a simple f followed by the rest of the statement. Okay, let me just print it, same thing. Okay, I'm not spending time. And in the templated strings here, so you'll have a template. Okay, so you'll have a very fixed data, like a data but with only few values, changeable values, and then you will change those values using substitution, that is template substitution, like this. Okay, and then whatever you want to substitute, you can basically substitute. So you can just go through the rest of the things, so they are very easy to understand. And of course you don't have to practice everything. It's just that you know that these options are existing for the print statements. Okay. And then finally the special print techniques. Okay, so first let me just run this file. Okay, and then show you what exactly I'm. Okay, you can see a simple progress bar here, and then there are colored outputs. Okay, so these are very special print techniques that we usually have. Okay, so these are possible with ANSI color codes. So ANSI stands for American National Standards Institute. So it's an organization that defines various standards for systems and technologies to work consistently. So it is a standard basically everyone should follow. Okay, and then there are certain escape characters. Okay, and then there are certain color codes for red, orange, blue, etc. Okay, so these are the various codes. So what I did is basically, instead of writing them every time, okay, so for red this is the code, ANSI color code, so I just define them as a constant. Okay, so because they won't change, so I just mention them in a separate place. Okay, now see, red means this one, these are all colors. Reset means it will reset to the normal black color. Okay, so now within the formatted strings, so I just mentioned red here, and then some data, red text or info or warning or something like that, and then reset. So it will start red and then it will reset to the normal color. So that's the reason why you are seeing red text, green text, magenta text, and all these things. Okay, because of these enclosed ANSI codes. Okay, so the best example, I mean, like where we actually use them is when we have um, applications running and then they generate a lot of logs. So this is how you create the logging style for those applications. Okay, so whenever you're trying to print info, it can be green. Whenever you're trying to print the warning statements, it can be that one color, and for all the errors and all, it can be red. Okay, so this is where you actually find these things useful. Okay, and coming to the pretty print. Okay, so pretty print is another built-in module. Okay, so which will help you in printing complex data structures like dictionaries, slates, or JSON files in the actual format, not in a single line or something like this. Okay, so when you have this particular data, so this is basically a complex data, so this is a dictionary. If you simply print that variable complex data like this, so you can see it is printing in a single line. Okay, but if you use pretty print, that is instead of print it is p print, you can see it is actually it displaying it in the the actual format. Okay, and finally you have something known as progress bars and all. Okay, again these are all just print statements which I'm trying to simulate. Okay, but here I'm trying to show you the use of flash and all these things. So here I'm trying to fill this 100% progress bar. So what it will do is it will start from 1 to total of 30, so it will print this 100% in 30 blocks like that. Okay, and then you have the percentage, and then so what it will do is it will have this one while filling, and the remaining part it will be something like of this character. Okay, so it will every time this loop runs, it will try to fill these bars and then these bars which are not filled. Okay, and then in order to actually simulate, I'm adding a sleep, otherwise you will not see that particular simulation. Okay, so that's why if I just run it again, you can see it is actually printing that white and then that pattern bar like that. Okay, so this is one more example. So we are done with the examples, so you can just go through this readme file and understand all the topics, and then just run all these Python scripts. So that's it for this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.